Look once more ere we leave this specular mount, westward, much nearer by southwest. Behold, where on the Aegean shore a city stands, built nobly, pure the air and light the soil. Athens, the eye of Greece, mother of arts and eloquence, native to famous wits or hospitable, in her sweet recess, city or suburban, studious walks and shades. See there the olive grove of Academy, Plato's retirement, where the Attic bird trills her thick warbled notes the summer long. There flowery hill Hymettus, with the sound of bees' industrious murmur, oft invites to studious musing. There Ilissus rowels his whispering stream. Within the walls then view the schools of ancient sages, his who bred great Alexander to subdue the world, Lyceum there, and painted Stoa next. There thou shalt hear and learn the secret power of harmony, in tones and numbers hit by voice or hand, in various measured verse, Aeolian charms, and Dorian lyric odes, and his who gave them breath, but higher sung, blind Melesigenes, thence Homer called, whose poem Phoebus challenged for his own. Thence what the lofty, grave tragedians taught in chorus or iambic, teachers best of moral prudence, with delight received in brief sententious precepts, while they treat of fate and chance and change in human life, high actions and high passions best describing. Thence to the famous orators repair, those ancient whose resistless eloquence wielded at will the fierce democracy, shook the arsenal in full mind over Greece to Macedon and Artaxerxes' throne. To sage philosophy next lend thine ear, from heaven descended to the low-roofed house of Socrates. See there his tenement, whom well inspired the oracle pronounced wisest of men, from whose mouth issued forth mellifluous streams that watered all the schools of academics old and new, with those surnamed Peripatetics, and the sect Epicurean, and the Stoic severe. These here revolve, or as thou likest, at home, till time mature thee to a kingdom's weight. These rules will render thee a king complete within thyself, much more with empire joined. To whom our Saviour sagely thus replied, think not but that I know these things, or think I know them not therefore am I short of knowing what I ought. He who receives light from above, from the fountain of light, no other doctrine needs, though granted true. But these are false, or little else but dreams, conjectures, fancies, built on nothing firm. The first and wisest of them all professed to know this only, that he knew nothing. The next to fabling fell in smooth conceits. A third sort doubted all things, though plain sense. Others in virtue placed felicity, but virtue joined with riches and long life. In corporal pleasure he, in careless ease, the Stoic last in philosophic pride, by him called virtue, and his virtuous man, wise, perfect in himself and all possessing, equal to God, oft shames not to prefer, as fearing God nor man, contemning all, wealth, pleasure, pain or torment, death and life, which when he lists he leaves, or boasts he can. For all his tedious talk is but vain boast, or subtle shifts conviction to evade. Alas, what can they teach and not mislead, ignorant of themselves, of God much more, and how the world began, and how man fell, degraded by himself, on grace depending. Much of the soul they talk, but all awry, and in themselves seek virtue, to themselves all glory arrogate, to God give none. Rather accuse him under usual names, fortune and fate, as one regardless quite of mortal things. Who therefore seeks in these true wisdom finds her not, or by delusion far worse, her false resemblance only meets, an empty cloud. However many books wise men have said are wearisome, who reads incessantly, and to his reading brings not a spirit and judgment equal or superior, and what he brings, what needs he elsewhere seek, uncertain and unsettled still remains, deep versed in books and shallow in himself, crude or intoxicate, collecting toys and trifles for choice matters, worth a sponge, as children gathering pebbles on the shore. Or, if I would delight my private hours with music or with poem, where so soon as in our native language can I find that solace? All our law and story strewed with hymns, our psalms with artful terms inscribed, our Hebrew songs and harps, in Babylon that please so well our victor's ear, declare that rather Greece from us these arts derived, ill imitated while they loudest sing the vices of their deities and their own, in fable, hymn, or song, so personating their gods ridiculous, and themselves past shame. Remove their swelling epithets, thick laid as varnish on a harlot's cheek, the rest, thin sown with aught of profit or delight, will far be found unworthy to compare with Sion's songs, to all true tastes excelling, where God is praised aright, and godlike men, the holiest of holies and his saints. Such are from God inspired, not such from thee. Unless where moral virtue is expressed by light of nature, not in all quite lost, their orators thou then extollest as those the top of eloquence, status indeed, and lovers of their country as may seem, but herein to our prophets far beneath, as men divinely taught, and better teaching the solid rules of civil government in their majestic unaffected style than all the oratory of Greece and Rome. In them is plainest taught, and easiest learnt, what makes a nation happy, and keeps it so, what ruins kingdoms, and lays cities flat. These only, with our law, best form a king.